Okay, so I'm turning the camera around to see my audience. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning, unlike me. So, for today, it's Throwback Thursday. And the date that we're going to focus on is July 21st, 1977, which is the date of my birth. So on today's Throwback Thursday, we're going to look at different news events that occurred on that day. And since it's so warm right now in northwest Ohio, we're going to look at some high temperatures that occurred on this day. Oops. So first is a map of the U.S. with two areas highlighted. So on this day, July 21st, 1977, it was super hot in New York City. Try to get this position for the camera, where it reached 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And an article by New York Times by Andy Newman and Matthew Wald reported that this remained New York City's highest recorded temperature until it was tied on nearly 34 years later on July 22nd, 2011. So according to the National Weather Service on their weather.gov website, New York City got 9 straight days of heat during this time. So now I can better understand why my mom complained so much about the heat during the summer that she was pregnant with me, being that it was so hot. But the ironic part about all of that is I'm always cold. So what else was hot on July 21st, 1977? Tucson, Arizona was 99 degrees Fahrenheit, also according to weather.gov. So speaking of Tucson, I'll show this to the camera and then also show the audience here. So the Rolling Stones had a concert in Tucson on this date, and they helped one fan fulfill an item from her bucket list by allowing her to sing with them. But that wasn't just any fan. According to Songfact.com's music history calendar, the fan was Linda Ronstadt, who had just released a cover version of the Rolling Stones' Tumbling Dice song. That was a direct quote from Songfact's website. So in these pictures are the Rolling Stones single album cover for that song, as well as Linda Ronstadt's single album cover for her version of that same song. So next topic is, since we were just talking about tumbling dice, we're going to talk about gambling, where a Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker took a pretty good gamble with, with his career on this day. So Jack Lambert chose not to show up to training camp because he wasn't so happy with his salary. The Steelers stayed in much of the news during 1977, but not due to their performance on the field. It was mainly due to conflicts with the players and their contracts. This is based off a 2017 article on Steelers.com that is subtitled, "Actually," and I quote, "Actually, 2017 is the 40th anniversary of the most distraction-filled season in Steelers history," which in today's day and age is a little bit surprising. Lastly, what else can create more conflict than the Steelers did in 1977? We go on to oil prices. We've all been victims at the pump and had to deal with crazy prices. So according to World Oil Magazine's website, they reported in an article written on July 21st, 2017, that on that same day in 1977, the U.S. federal government began stockpiling oil. That stockpile began at 412,000 barrels, but 4 years later, in 2017, has grown to 700 million barrels. And the feds are currently trying to decide whether the stockpile that large, or even a stockpile at all, is still necessary. So overall, 1977 was a busy year with many newsworthy events. There were political changes and turmoil, intense weather events, and NFL players taking stands against their teams. So it's surprising that 40 years later, many of our current daily news events and topics are still the same. And that's all I have. My audience did not leave. They are still here. And I failed at the beginning to show my notes. My notes were on the back of the visual aids. I think that's it. Thank you.